session, what it means is that we are, there we go, live stream, yeah. So we're live streaming to YouTube, but it's not your webcams that are being visible. I'm spotlighted, so it's just my webcam that is visible. But what it does mean is that we can now start to have our sessions on our YouTube channel. So you are more than welcome to head over there. Anytime you want to replay a session, follow along, do a guided meditation when we're not actually running the session live at the time. Cool. Okay. So let's get going. Firstly, actually, what I wanted to do was to welcome anybody who has never joined us before. I feel like we haven't had a kind of a welcome to newbies for a little while, so I thought it might be nice. We've got the chat box open. If anyone who's new wants to just find my name, Solomon, there, and just say, hey, let us know your name, where in the world you are, what brings you here, whether you've ever practiced mindfulness before or not, and I can read a couple of them out, and we can welcome you. And if there's anyone who's been here before, or many times before, yeah, maybe you want to send me a message of welcome to the other people, to the new people, because we have a really nice, friendly community here, and it's growing, and it's really nice to have some people who are here all the time. It's really nice to have new faces here as well. Cool. So we have Rachel. Hey, first time here from the US. Excited to see. Sorry, I said your name wrong. Rochelle. Yes, cool. Thank you. Sorry. Awesome. Really happy that you're joining us for the first time. We have Rahaf from Palestine as well. Hannibal says, welcome to the new people in here. You made a right decision, not going to regret it. Oh, lovely. Thank you, Hannibal. And we have, oh, yeah, I think we need more people to write with phonetics so I can pronounce the names correctly. That's really helpful. This should become a thing. Maria from India. Happy to be here. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for joining. Oh, and Shruti as well from India. Perfect. Good to see you guys. Really nice to have you. Thanks for coming. Oh, and we also have Sinu, also from India. Guys, what time is it in India right now? I know it's a big country, so it's different times, but I was under the impression it's quite late for you. Oh, yeah, it is. 12 p.m. Okay, it's your tomorrow. It's 7:30 p.m. where I am. I should introduce myself as well. My name is Solomon. I'm the lead mindfulness teacher here at StudyStream, and I'm based in the UK in a little city called Brighton by the seaside, just an hour or so from London, south of London. And we run these sessions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at this time. So let's get going into the session. The way that this works is we tend to have a brief chat about what mindfulness is, introduce a practice, meditation practice. That will last for about 10 or 15, yeah, maybe 15 minutes. And that gives us an opportunity to really practice the skill and harness the tools of mindfulness. Mindfulness is okay in theory, it's good to talk about, but I always say it's a doing word, it's a verb, it's something to be practiced to get better at. So it's like developing any skill. It's good to have knowledge about nutrition or fitness or how to learn a new language, but you've actually got to do the thing itself to get better at it. So that's what we're going to be doing. And I always say, whether you've practiced many times before or this is your very first time, no worries, you just follow along. I'll guide you through it. It's all going to be good. In fact, the practice that I thought we would do today is a practice that I'm really, really, really familiar with, too familiar with, I might say. There are some meditation retreats that I've been on a number of times. They last 10 days. They're held in absolute silence. And you spend the first 3 days doing one particular technique, and then you spend the next 7 days doing a slightly different technique. And what I thought I would do is I thought I would condense those 10 days into one 15-minute long meditation and see how we get on. But essentially, with mindfulness practice, they can be very simple. But that doesn't mean that they're easy. They can be really challenging, particularly if it's the first time that we've done it. We tend to notice when we begin these practices and we kind of shut out the other distractions and try to focus our mind in one place. we notice how challenging that can be, how scattered our minds are quite a lot of the time, and how they just wander and just get distracted. And sometimes we notice that they're actually quite challenging places to be. It can be quite critical. We can have these kind of like nagging voices that kind of tell us, oh, we should be, whatever it might be, more productive, or, oh, I should be running more, or, whatever it may be, I should have done better in that test. So by just giving ourselves the opportunity to check in with the present moment experiences that we're going through, and trying to cultivate alongside that a befriending attitude. So we're not judging ourselves, we're just noticing what's going on. Just that awareness and that kindness to ourselves can really start to unravel some tension and some anxiety. And it allows us to do maybe a little bit less procrastination and a little bit more focus. Has anyone here ever procrastinated in their lives? Is that a thing that anyone's ever experienced? Yeah, like all of us, right? Like every single person, of course. So when we notice that our mind wanders during a meditation and we just bring it back and bring it back and bring it back, this isn't a failure. People often interpret it as meaning, oh, I can't focus. It's not, it's just practicing a skill. It's like going to the gym and lifting a weight. And the more weights we lift, the stronger we get. So this is just like a workout for our brain muscles. That's all it is. So let's get going. As I said, we're going to have these two different parts of it. We're going to start for a few minutes, and we're going to be spending a little bit of time putting our attention on the flow of the breath, how it feels in the body as the breath moves in and out of the body. There are various reasons why the breath can be quite useful, but it doesn't have to be the breath. And I'll give you options for where you might want to place your attention if for you the breath isn't the right place. But what this gives us an opportunity for is just to bring our minds into this space. So our bodies are here. I can see you. You're sitting on the chair and you've got a webcam on perhaps. So your body is here, but maybe our minds haven't quite caught up yet. Maybe the mind is still stuck with the last thing that we were doing. Or maybe it's thinking about the thing that we've got to do next. So maybe with the breathing, it gives us something in the present moment to focus on, to introduce the mind into this present moment space. And then we're going to scan the body. We call it body sweeping. So we're going to tune into the different parts of the body, all the way from the tips of the toes up to the top of the head and out to the tips of the fingers. And we're just going to move our attention gradually in your own pace, up and down, and just notice how it feels. There's no particular agenda. There's nothing you need to change. There's no particular experience you need to have. It's a journey of discovery, of curiosity. And then afterwards, we have the chat box open and you can let me know what you noticed. Okay, how does that sound? We happy? Cool. Okay, guys, so let's find a way of sitting that's going to be comfortable for the next 15 minutes, whatever that means for you. But finding a way that's, while it's comfortable for the body, it's also going to encourage the mind to kind of feel awake and alive. So you might want to find a way of sitting that's a little bit more upright, shoulders down, chin tucked in, and feet planted firmly on the floor. But whatever's going to work for you. And then just take a moment. You don't need to shut the eyes just yet if you don't want to, but just have a general sense of how it feels right now to just be sitting here. No distractions, nothing that you need to do. Just notice how it feels to be sitting here. That's it. Maybe it feels a little bit awkward, a bit boring, strange. It's fine. Just noticing that. Remembering there's no right experience. And then if you're happy to, if it feels comfortable, I invite you to close the eyes if they're not already. And this just helps us invite the mind to focus inwardly without the visual distractions around us. And so we're going to begin with this practice of just tuning into the body in a place where we notice the breathing most clearly, most obviously. So for you, this may be in the nostrils, the air flowing in and out. Maybe in the throat. Could be the rise and fall of the chest. the expansion and falling back of the belly. Just choosing one of those places where you notice the breath move in and out of the body, and just allow the mind to settle there. Just feeling that movement, whatever sensation you notice. And we may notice as we do this that certain visual images arrive in our imagination, or maybe some thoughts about the practice or something else. If that's the case, just noticing, and without any judgment, just gently bringing the mind back again. Just to how it feels as the body breathes. Now, as I always say, if any part of this practice doesn't feel okay for you right now, you always have the option, the choice to pause, just stop and open up the eyes, or maybe take your focus, your attention to somewhere else, maybe somewhere else in the body. It feels a little bit lighter, more inviting. Making the practice work for you. And so tuning in particular now to each in-breath, really allowing most of your focus to go into the in-breath. And then moving on to the out-breath, letting your attention flood into each out-breath. And then being present for the spaces, the little pauses in between breaths. And then returning once again to the full duration of each in-breath and out-breath, and the pauses in between. And just noticing if there's any sense of expectation that's crept in. Any thought telling you you ought to be feeling a particular way or having some kind of experience. Remembering that the practice is just about being present and noticing whatever is actually here. Maybe it's a good time to gently adjust the posture if it's not quite how you had intended it to be. Finding a way that's going to feel comfortable. Just noticing how the body feels. And then beginning the second stage of this practice. Taking our attention down into the legs and into the toes. And just at your own pace, just allowing the mind to sweep over the body from the toes up into the feet, the lower legs and the knees, and the upper legs and the pelvis. And just pausing here for a moment. As you go up now into the belly and the chest and the lower back and the upper back. Now into the arms and down into the hands and the fingers. Noticing each individual finger and the spaces between them. And the hands and the wrists. And the lower arms, elbows, and upper arms. And the shoulders. And then up into the throat and the neck and all around the skull and the face. And then just continuing this sweep of the body at your own pace. Just working through each part of the body, tuning into sensations, just noticing how it feels. And maybe if you do notice any tension or tightness, maybe just noticing what effect, what impact the awareness of it has. Does it change in any way? And just moving up and down the body in your own time. Just seeing what there is to notice. At times you may notice the felt sense of the body against the chair or the floor, tightness of clothing, sense of temperature, of coolness or warmth, maybe of a gentle breeze against the skin, or tightness and lightness in muscles. Maybe there's a sense of tingling or vibration, of numbness. Whatever you notice, just keep sweeping through the body. And each time your mind wanders and you notice, just recognizing it as a moment of mindfulness, of awareness. And just picking up where you left off, or if you're not sure where that was, just beginning again. And if you notice that there is some emotional charge associated with this experience, whether that's joy or calmness, or whether that's frustration or anger, just as best you can, just noticing what that is, and if it's possible to just continue with the practice, but knowing that choice is always there, to take the mind elsewhere, to a place that feels more stable and secure. and safe. As we come towards the end of the practice, moving on from that sweeping technique and just coming back again to a general sense of the body sitting here, the feet against the floor, the weight of the body against the chair, the hands in the lap or on the knees, and just coming back now into the breath. Sense of the body sitting here, breathing. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. And so with the sound of the bell, we've come to the end of our practice. And just in your own time, maybe slowly bringing some movement into the body. A little bit of a stretch. A gentle massage, just being guided by what the body is asking for. If there's any tightness or soreness, or just a part that would appreciate a gentle touch of the warmth of the hands. And if your eyes are still closed, you're welcome to open them back up again and join us back on screen. And then just like before, we have the chat box open. So for anyone who would like to, if there's anything that you would like to say about how you found that, what your experience was, and just like in the practice, there's no expectation that you should have felt a particular way or experienced anything specific. Maybe just let us know your name and where you're from, and just say hey and what you noticed. Where did the mind go? What sensations in the body did you notice? Was there any particular emotion that was dominant? Was there calm and joy, or was it mainly anger, frustration, sadness? And when you noticed that, how was it to sit in silence and be with that as an emotion? Was that challenging? Was that okay? So I'll give you a couple of minutes to write that. And if you've got any questions as well, that's always an option. You can always ask me a question as well. Okay, Victor. Hi, Victor. Oh, there you are. You're on my second screen. Hi. Victor from Guatemala. I was almost falling asleep when you rang the bell. So relaxing. Thanks, Solomon. Great. So much to say about. It's such a common experience to start to feel sleepy during a mindfulness practice. And there's nothing in particular right or wrong about that as an experience. If we're tired, then it's really natural that when we close our eyes and we've got nothing else distracting us, then we're going to start to feel sleepy. It's fine. That's quite helpful to know. It might be just a reminder of, oh yeah, I'm feeling quite tired. Maybe tonight I'll try and get some more sleep. Of course, the practice of mindfulness is more about what we say is falling awake than falling asleep. But of course, we can still be present and have an awareness of the sensations in the body as we feel tired. It's noticing that there is an experience, and then there's the observation or awareness of the experience. So it's really challenging to do, particularly with something like tiredness. But if you can think of it in that sense, maybe as you're starting to experience another emotion like anger, perhaps, or sadness, to the best of our ability, are we able to separate the two? Can we be the observer, seeing this scene play out, but not necessarily participating in it? But with tiredness, it's really tough because we're literally falling asleep as it's happening. But that's great. Okay, let's have a look. Naval from India, studying in the Netherlands. I've been feeling homesick lately, so I decided to join these sessions. Today's practice was really helpful. I feel better, calmer than I did when I first came here. Thank you for this. Thanks, Naval. Thank you for joining us. And I'm sorry to hear that you're feeling homesick. That sounds really tough. I've been homesick before. It's not easy. So I'm really glad you can join us, and yeah, this can be a nice place to be. Kiana says, I felt itchy with a sad face. Why sad face? Was the itchy an unpleasant experience? Can itchiness be a pleasant experience? I don't know. Is that possible? Maybe. Now we have who I called Rachel earlier, whose name is not Rachel, so I now have to scroll back up again. Rushel. Right, I'm going to find your question again now. Who asked, when are these sessions? These sessions are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So whenever this started when you are, that's the time that it will start. Jacob from, where is that? Is that the Czech Republic? Chechnya? I felt tired after a tough day, and this has given me quite a soothing experience to calm down. Thank you. And Isadora says, thank you, Solomon. We have more people almost falling asleep because it was super relaxing. Ananya, sorry. Marina from Argentina, I felt anguish and that my body was quite heavy. Interesting. It's sometimes quite difficult, of course, in this way to really be able to have much of a conversation, because I'd love to know more and how that experience was for you, Marina. Hope you're doing okay. I hope that heaviness doesn't feel too heavy. You were able to be with it. Maybe in the future, we'll set up some of these sessions with smaller groups where we can really get a conversation going so we can go further. Mia says, thank you very much. Hannibal says, today I forgot that I'm not always strong and couldn't fight with the pains of my chronic disease anymore. I had to stop a few times, but managed to focus again in between. I got frustrated and sad at the same time for letting my disease kick in. But overall, I understand more what goes on in my body when I need to focus in extreme times. Thanks, Hannibal. Thanks for letting us know. Again, it's a beautiful thing about these sessions. We have so many people turning up and being real and honest, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm sorry that that you struggled during that practice. It sounds like you turned up, hey, already a victory. You turned up, you set an intention, you joined the practice, and you kept coming back. So with the sounds of your experience, it sounds like more than I would have managed today. I think at some point after my first needing to take a time out, I'd have just been like, I'm done with today's session. So huge credit for coming back, and I hope the practice was helpful. Okay, let's read out a couple more. And then I actually have, if it works, I'm going to try and put a poll out there, because I have some questions for how you guys find these sessions. Who knows if it's going to work? Oh, I've just realized it's not going to work. I might ask Charlie, who's on the call at the moment, to maybe do it for me, I think. Let me see. Oh, it will work. It's fine. Okay, I managed to make it work. Great. I'll put that out there in a second. We have, let's read a couple more. Someone says, good morning from the Philippines. As always, it's been very relaxing. I've experienced this mindfulness session for the 4th time. This is helping me so much. Though somehow the breeze of the cold air here is disturbing me. Still, it was so great. I'm glad to be here. Beautiful. Aditi says it was refreshing after a tiring day. Thank you. Ploikel from Thailand. I feel struggling, like my mind tries to be active all the time. I realize we should give more time to ourselves to focus on the now moment. Absolutely. What I spoke about before was around how so often when we begin this practice, we think mindfulness is all about eradicating thoughts, and that's the end goal, and this is something achievable. It is neither the end goal, nor is it achievable. It's not what we're trying to do. We're just noticing, oh, the mind is really busy, and then we can become curious around that experience. And then maybe drop into the body and notice how that feels. So yeah, great job. Ultimately, yeah, let's give more time to ourselves to focus on the now. Hannibal says, I'm a fighter. That's right, I think you are. I think that's proof. And Camilla, maybe lastly, hi, I'm from Mexico. It was my first time, and at first it was a little bit weird, but I definitely enjoyed it, and I kind of needed this without knowing it. That's a great way to sum it up. We kind of need it without knowing it. Until we take that time, we maybe don't appreciate just how busy life and our minds are, and then we kind of come into the session and it's like, ooh, okay, let's take a breath. Yeah, let's take a moment for myself. Really important. So in a moment, I'm going to head off and we're going to open to your open mic sesh where you can unmute and chat and just be together and connect, which is a lovely thing that we're really happy to offer. Before we do that, I'm going to put a poll up. I put way too many. Well, there are 6 questions. I apologize. I was meant to cut a few out, but I didn't. So I've never done a poll before. You guys, this is all new. So if I hit launch, do you guys get a poll that pops up? Yeah, amazing. If you guys can just take 2 minutes to just answer those multiple choice. I think they're all multiple choice, so you can select more than one on each one. And that's just going to help us figure out what we do with these sessions, when we have them, what to focus on when we do them, all that good stuff. And then we can just make it more and more for what you're looking for, essentially. Because we created this, but we want you guys to determine where it goes. Thank you, guys. I can see you filling it out. That's awesome. I'll just give you a couple more minutes. Cool. Okay, while you're doing that, what else do I need to tell you? Nothing really. Yeah, when these sessions happen, if you would like to sign up for, that was what I was going to do. I'm going to put a link in the chat box. If you guys haven't already, you can sign up for the mindfulness memo. It's an email that I write and send out every couple of weeks. It means you get the links to the Zoom room, and I write a little kind of mini blog post about some mindfulness tips and strategies and things like that. Okay, if anyone hasn't quite finished their, oh, it's okay. I can leave the poll up there. I'll close the poll in 5 minutes or so. So you've got a few more minutes. But that is me done, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I will be back on Friday. So I'll be running the session on Friday at the same time. That's everything. Thank you so much, guys. Lovely to see you. If this was your first time, we would love to see you again. And for those of you who I see all the time, hey, nice to have you back. All right, guys, I'm going to head off. Enjoy connecting with each other. I will see you in a couple of days. Bye, guys.